Hey, it's Joe. Here's another question. This one is from Dan. His question is, hey Joe, my question is how much to compensate a real estate agent if you use them to sell the property in a rent-to-own deal? Okay, so do you give them a commission? Should you give them a flat fee? If it's an agent, they're used to working on commission. So giving them a commission is not a bad thing. Give them, 20% of the deal, 30% of the deal. That would be normal. If they're a straight up partner, give them 50% of the deal. I mean, that would work. Now, one of the things that I find is difficult is getting an agent to work consistently, to make sure they follow up with the leads, to go through that whole process. And a lot of times it's easier and cheaper to get an hourly paid person to do that work for you. So what I do most of the time, and I've done both ways, but what I prefer to do is to get an hourly person who will do that stuff, who I pay $8 or $10 an hour to show that property, to be friendly, and maybe close the deal. And we can get somebody who's good on the phone, and most of that work can be done on the phone, and then you can have your boots on the ground, a different person who actually shows up the property and shows the property if that's necessary, if it can't be shown with a lockbox. Vacant properties can be shown with just a lockbox without anybody there with them. We've had very good luck with that. So if you're working with an agent, you have to find somebody who's going to follow through with your leads, because you're going to get leads coming through. So make sure all the leads that are coming from your Craigslist ads, from all your signs, from all the marketing that you do, make sure that they come through your office first, and then they get distributed to the buyer agent if you're using an agent to help you sell that property. If that way, the person who's the virtual assistant who's going to do the distribution, they're going to ask for lead sheets to come back from that agent to make sure that those people got contacted. And you also want to do some spot checking, maybe to call some of the buyers to make sure, hey, did Fred get a hold of you about the property that you called about, and find out if he's actually making the calls. If you're not selling properties, he's not making the calls. Make sure that you have a way to check on them to make sure it's getting done. And I find that it's hard to keep agents on board with this stuff. I don't know why that's the case, because they can sometimes be the best people to sell your properties, and intuitively it makes a lot of sense to have them sell the properties. But I think that they feel that maybe they can make more money listing properties and selling properties and getting a commission and working that way and doing it conventionally than they can by just taking a cut off of your deals and making $1,000 here, $1,000 there. They're used to $1,500 to $2,500 to $3,500 to $5,000 paydays, like you are as an investor, not used to $1,000 or $1,500 or whatever it is that you're going to pay them. So let me also, before I stop, is to talk about hourly paid. If you're paying somebody, let's say you made $3,000, a low lease option fee on a $100,000 property. You got $3,000 coming in, you're giving a third of it to your buyer's agent. So you're giving away $1,000 of that income. You're going to keep $2,000 of that. If you had hired an agent or a non-agent, somebody hourly, to do that for you, to make those calls for you, and paid them $10 an hour, and it takes on average 5 to 10 hours of dealing with buyers before you can find a property, usually less than that. But let's say it takes 10 hours. That's $100 that you have to pay that person versus $1,000 that you had to pay the agent. So, and it's probably going to be less than that $100. So I would definitely do the hourly if you can afford it up front. A lot of people feel, well, I can't afford it up front, but it's going to eat away at your income later on. And if you build your business around it, it's not going to be as exciting. So at the beginning, maybe you make the calls, you talk to the sellers, you put the deals together. And as soon as you put together 1 or 2 deals, set aside some of that money to pay an hourly person and do it that way. All right, hope that helps.